Hello, I'm Sophie. Welcome back to my channel, whichever you are. Today, I am going to be talking about my new and improved free world building process because I am broke and because I needed an upgrade desperately. So, I love world building. I love building up my own universe and lore and stuff. It's just like really fun to just dive into it and be like, this is a whole new thing that I created for me, mostly, just cause I can. And I do employ that quite a bit in my writing, obviously. That's kind of why I world build. I have a fantasy, I have a sci-fi, I'm gonna have a sci-fi dystopian sometime soon. Basically all aspects of my writing take place in a world in some form unlike our own. Like Project Glass has this disease thing that I came up with, and then Project What had a whole nuclear war. Nothing's like here. Nothing's like in our world. So I do world build a lot. And originally I thought, wouldn't it just be great if I used a binder for my world building? And I did for all of Project What. And I just have pages upon pages of just information on my characters, on my settings, on my plot. And I do brainstorm still on paper and stuff, so that's understandable. But this, I've already had trouble looking through it to find information that I knew I wrote down somewhere. And I'm still trying to look for something that I'm pretty sure I wrote down somewhere. I just don't know where it is. Obviously this has problems. So I moved to my computer because that is so much easier to sort through, it's so much easier to keep organized, and it's lighter, obviously. I mean, this maybe is the same weight as my laptop if we want to go literally, but come on, you can put so much more into the laptop than a binder, a 3-ring binder. This I labeled. I thought I could label the pages and be fine, but it takes a lot of flipping, takes a lot of reading my poor handwriting, that's another reason, and just making things a lot harder than they have to be. And I have tried Campfire. I've seen it all over YouTube, AuthorTube. Everyone's like, Campfire is great for world building. So I got the 10-day free trial, and it was crazy. It is so full of everything, and I was like, this is awesome. I wish I could have this. But then I realized it's like $40, so I was like, never mind. I can steal. This sounds awful, but I can steal some of their ideas here. Obviously not the mechanics and everything, because it's a very seamless program. Mine isn't, really, but I can take some of those ideas from the world building program and put it into something that's a little more accessible for me, a child with no job or money or anything. So I made my own version of Campfire at its bare bones. It doesn't have all the fancy stuff, and you can move it around, and you can make character maps and plot and do character arcs and stuff. It's let me just show you. Alrighty. Took me a minute, but we are rolling on the laptop, so I will be looking down for most of this because it's right here. But let's begin. I ended up making a Google Slides thing full of world building templates for what I thought would be just myself, but obviously I'm making this video, so I'll get into that. It's called World Building Templates. It's a growing slideshow. So far it has 15. As I go on with this world building and writing basically at the same time, especially for my sci-fi right now, I am adding to it, adding different aspects to each slide and adding new slides entirely, but let's begin. First of all, we have the table of contents, and you might be like, what's the point? If you just want to list out your items, then yeah, you can just list them out. But I use it like this. Let's just say, okay, so character is slide 2. So I'm just gonna go name character right there. And then I'm just gonna highlight it, right click, link, slides in this presentation, you can go slide 2. Then when you click on this, then you click on that, it takes you straight to it. So that's what I use that for. It's just a quick way to navigate everything. I found that I don't actually use it that much. I don't keep it up to date on my own slides, so I'm gonna try and go through it and figure everything out, but for now it's not very up to date on any of my world building slideshows. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections so far. Once again, maybe I'll have to add to that, but oh, also I should see, look, editing while we're here. We have characters, which are blue for me, settings, which are green, culture, which is orange, objects, which are yellow, religion and magic system, you know, like supernatural, I guess, systems are purple, species are a more pink purple, and other is just gray, because it is other. So I have these sort of ordered in that order, and I do have some that I still want to add that I haven't yet because I haven't needed them yet, and some of these aren't finished either, so this is a very work in progress sort of thing. But let's keep going. First, and possibly the most dense one of all of these, I'm pretty sure it is, well, maybe, is the main character sheet. We have side characters. This is a new addition because I realized I have a lot of side characters in my fantasy novel, and that they didn't need the full in-depth description as the first character sheet needed. This smiley face is just here because I needed something to fill that space. You do what you want with him. Then we have group of characters. These are all basically just like the same, except for, you know, these have a bunch of small plates so you can name off a bunch of characters. I could fit 8. It's flexible. I assume I'm no graphic designer, but I've needed one for 6 so far, and then one for 8. So I just kind of stretch them out. Country or world, I don't have one for smaller settings like buildings or rooms or other stuff like that. So far it's just kind of a country or a whole planet. I will add to that though in time. Culture, I have not really used one of these yet, but I'm hoping it's as much as I need. If it's not, I will update it, obviously. Social organization, close to culture, but it's more for the countries and worlds and how they function as a society. Celebration or ritual, this one's very empty. I just don't know what it needs. Hopefully once I actually need the celebrations and rituals, I can figure that out, and maybe it doesn't need a whole slide for itself. Objects, this one is because of my fantasy novel where my main character has to deliver 6 objects, and then there's also food because in my sci-fi novel, my sister and I made a fruit. We were watching a movie or something, and I was like, hey, you wanna help me world build? And she was like, yeah. So we made a fruit, and I made this food one. Religion, pretty standard. A lot of worlds have religions in them, and I thought I'd make a little basic one because all of my stories, it seems, except for Project Glass, have a religion in them that I made up. Magic system, yeah, this is just because my magic in my fantasy novel is very, there's like a lot of little groups, so that's how this is. And I'm assuming, like, if you're doing like a wizard school thing, I'm not sure this would be big enough for like the whole magic system of all that, but this is for me, obviously, so it's for smaller groups of magic that sort of obey by one big magic physics, but This is for the specific groups. Species. I'm gonna say humanoid or otherwise. I have not used it for a non-human sort of species. And it does say culture / religion. So obviously for like an animal sort of species, I'm not sure that would happen there. But I've only used it for humanoid, like extraterrestrial species so far. So, whoops. Historical event. I just added this, and I don't know how accurate this would be to the needs of historical event. I kind of just made it because I was like, I'll start there. And that's it. And then I have little plot cards that are all colored, because in case I wanted to plot on my laptop, which I don't think I would, but I just have them, and they go with the colors of my actual cards, my physical cards, mostly. I obviously added a few because I could. Those are all 15 slides, and they're pretty simple. I don't really know how well they work, like, for, like, full-on in-depth stuff, because this is kind of just like a quick little brainstorming overview for me. At the moment, at least. And this is the super fun part. This is why I'm making this video. It's because the link for this template slideshow is in the description. It's in the description for you to use. And all you have to do is just copy and paste the slides into your own slideshow and just use them to your heart's content. And if you have anything you want me to add or change in certain slides, or if you want me to add whole new slides, then hit me up in the comments and I'll look into it, or DM me on Instagram, whichever is easier, whichever one you're on. My Instagram's also in the description. But yeah, I'll take ideas for both plates to add to each slide or slides to add to the entire slideshow, because, you know, if it helps you out, it might help me out, and that's great. If you use them and you give me feedback, then I can change them to make them better, not just for you and everyone else using them, but for me. That's great. That's epic. So go check it out right now. It's in the description. Go use it, criticize it, and tell me. Share it, whatever. But maybe give me credit if you are sharing it with other people. But yeah. It's in the description. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Boom. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for maybe trying out my world building templates. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.